is leading these calls for us each month. So she's normally our host, but as you heard before, she has got a sore throat this morning, so it's difficult to talk. So I will jabber away, and if I'm talking too much, hopefully she will pull me back on track, because definitely she is more more organized than me. Okay, go to the next one. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and their continuing connection to our community. We pay respect to them, their culture, and their elders past and present. So we are all watching from locations all around Australia and New Zealand, and we want to pay our respects to the traditional owners of the country on which we all live and work. So not just where I am, which is Perth. So we have the Noongar Nation that we respect over here, but each of you have your own traditional owners on the land that you're on, and we would pay respect to all of those. A little girl, I was at a STEM day yesterday, and a little girl did the acknowledgement of country with a traditional elder, and she said one of the things that she would remind us is that part of respecting the land and the people is that we are all kind to each other. And I thought that was such a beautiful message. So yes, I would encourage you to be kind to the people you see today. Okay, this is me. I lead this program. I am the developer engagement lead for Microsoft in Australia and New Zealand, and I'm part of a team that runs out of Asia now. I have a bunch of certifications. More than those on the slide. I would encourage you all to try and get those from the Microsoft Learn Student Hub. You can get discounted exam vouchers, and we do have on our YouTube channel some exam prep classes to help you get ready for those exams. We love those exams, and we do think that they put you a step ahead of your peers when you're applying for jobs, because there are probably 200 other people doing the same degree you are in the same university you are, probably several thousand of them across the country, probably tens of thousands of them across the world. And so if you want to come out of your degree with something more than what other people have, then we do recommend you get some industry certifications like these ones. We do have a playlist of tech workshops and tech training classes that we in the Student Accelerator program have done. So you can find them on that YouTube channel. That's the short link at the bottom, and that will take you directly to the technical playlist. So that's Joseph there teaching how to build an OpenAI and GPT chatbot. He has other ones on there teaching you how to build an Azure bot. I did one showing you how to throw up a website, a portfolio website, which is pretty cool. There's one on there with Clarissa showing you how to do a nice GitHub portfolio. So there's all sorts of cool stuff on there. None of it is difficult. All of it is entry level, I would say. You can, start from there, even if you're not very confident in anything, but they're all useful things for you to know how to do. We also want to encourage people to apply for the Student Ambassador Program. They have just announced the current round of Student Ambassadors, so if you submit now, you will not hear about it for another few months, because I think they assess those once a quarter. Somebody not on mute and it's noisy. There we go. Okay. Then, oh yes, when you're applying for Student Ambassador, I would give you two tips. One is do not search online for examples of other applications, because they do use an AI to check for what do they call it? Plagiarism. And so if you use someone else's profile for inspiration, I have seen really good people get knocked out for that because it said they copied the profile from someone else, their application from someone else. So do not do that. Just try and do it off your own, and indeed don't use an AI to create it. And the other tip is go in with enthusiasm. This is not a time to be humble. Um, really show excitement about wanting to be a student ambassador. It is really cool. You get free exams, you get free training, you get free swag. And you get monthly calls, you get connection, you get training. It's a wonderful program to get into. You don't have to be an expert at the start. You can because they're going to train you in things. So as long as you know, commit to getting your first exam, and as I say, they will help you with that. Yeah, it's a really marvelous program that you can progress through the levels until you reach a point where you are confident to lead events and to teach other students. Speaking of, if any of you do want to teach other students, maybe you've learned something in tech that you want to teach, ideally something in Microsoft technology, building on Azure or Office 365, do reach out to us through the mailbox, because we are always looking for people to deliver presentations for the tech channel. And it's a really good thing to then have on your LinkedIn profile that you delivered a training session for Microsoft. So think about that. Next, Student Hub. So this is the Microsoft Learn Student Hub. Go here. Here it has all the information for you. It has loads of free training on there. It has loads of videos about what it's like to work in different careers. It has all your free stuff, so all your free software, all of your free trainings in that. Oh, hang on, I'll show you the next slide. In this GitHub Student Developer Pack, for example, there are, I don't know, more than 20 free pieces of software that are normally quite expensive. So you can definitely get the GitHub Copilot, which is worth $20 a month. And a bunch of other things. I think Camtasia or StreamYard, like one of those like things that's really good for recording your content, which is, yeah, also very expensive normally. Loads of other software in there. So not just Microsoft and GitHub stuff, other software in there as well. You've got your free Azure for Students, which is a couple $100, I think. Do not build stuff in there and just leave it on. Absolutely build stuff in there, but then delete it after you have done it. Build it, record yourself building it, delete it, because that $100 should last you a year. But I have seen students spend it all in one weekend and it's gone because they just spun up some VM, left it running, went off to do other stuff, and when they came back, the money was gone. Do not do that. Turn it all off, delete it all after you've done it. Normally, each of the learning paths reminds you to delete it all, but I'm saying that to you at the start because you can't top up that $100. Oh yeah, and your student certifications, that's where you'll get the discounted exam vouchers. This is my YouTube. My YouTube hosts the multiple playlists that we have: the Student Accelerator, the technical workshops, the MSA core workshops, student chats, AI 900 prep list, all of that kind of stuff. So do like and subscribe. I'd love it if every time you watch something you liked it. I do not have a lot of followers on there, and I do not have like a lot of likes. So, you know, don't be shy. Aren't I your friend? Aren't I your MSA mummy? So give me some love. Okay. Click on with Michelle. Right, that is the MSA playlist. So everything we record, so what we're doing today, will come up here. If you come on camera, you'll appear on this playlist, which is cool. If you write your questions in the chat, those things do not appear in the video. So if you're too shy to ask questions out loud, then you can absolutely type them in the chat during the session and we will read them out for you. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat there and I just see Simone. No, if you're not a student, you cannot apply to be a student ambassador, I'm afraid, but you can absolutely record a technical session to teach other students if you'd like to do that. GitHub Pages does not suck. GitHub Pages is free, and therefore it's a little slower than if you were putting it up on a website that you were paying for. But no, GitHub Pages is as awesome as you want it to be. So in my session on there, I show you how to throw it up as an Azure static website or as a GitHub page, depending on if you have, well, in the portfolio website one, then I show you how to do it. So have a look at that, Simone, and hopefully it'll be okay. You can always ping me if you get stuck. Cool. Don't get distracted, Michelle, by chatter. I would love it all if you would subscribe to this as well. So I have a show called New Breakpoint. Um, this season started at episode 14. So when you go to register, you'll see like a whole playlist which has last season as well. But I think we started at episode 14, which is this one with Mish Manners, where she shows you how to use GitHub projects to plan your wedding, purchase your house, basically sort out your life. So you don't have to just use GitHub for coding. You can use GitHub to organize your life. And that's a really cool one. The one after that, Graham Foster, is about semantic kernel and LangChain, super hot topics. And the one after that is Lars Klintz. That's coming out next Thursday. So register for those. I would love it if you did. I want to keep those subscriptions high because otherwise they will take that off us and give it back to Corp. And, you know, we want to have local content with local creators talking about stuff, not just everything from America. So support your local region. Subscribe to those for me, please. Microsoft Source as well. This is the newsletter. In here, when there is free stuff, free events, free vouchers, you will often find it at the bottom of this newsletter. So do subscribe to that for me. They will see that you are coming from Australia. So that definitely helps our region as well. Australia and New Zealand, I should say. Hello, New Zealanders. Join our Facebook and LinkedIn groups to find out what's upcoming. We do mostly remember to post, but there's only me and people who are volunteering to keep this program running like Deepsy. So we don't always remember to post in time, but we do try. So bear with us. And now I have Dr. Michelle Ellis from Edith Cowan University, who is the first of our two guests this morning. She, excuse me, she is going to talk to us about what she does for ECU, but in fact what she does wider than that for the whole community across Australia, and how that will enable you, how you can get involved, how it will help your career, and how you can be part of her joyful community. So welcome, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Can you hear okay? All good?
Yeah, you're not super loud though, but it's okay.
How are we going? Are we better? Nice to meet everyone. Yep. Okay, excellent. So my name is Michelle Ellis. I work out here in Perth, and my role is basically to encourage high school students to develop a love and a pathway for computing and for security as well. But the other part of my job, which I really do enjoy, is working with our university students, helping them to upskill themselves so that they can be like job ready, I guess, is one of the things, but also to help them to make connections within the community, within each other, and also to make them sort of like stand out. For me, I guess the best thing is that, you know, when it comes to graduation time, everyone graduates practically at this, you know, your years all graduate at the same time. You've all got certain sort of skills, you've got certain sort of attributes that you take with you. But like when I'm buying a car, why would I buy a Toyota over a Ford or something like that? What is the difference in the two models? What is it that meets my needs, and what is it that I am looking for? A car is a car, but with all the different sort of accessories that comes with it, then that's going to be the decider for me as to which way I'm going to go. And it's the same for you. So what I encourage all of my students to do is to start looking around them for things that they should be involved in, some things that they should be connecting with, and how to do some volunteering in and around their local area. So I guess for the first sort of good example is that, you know, we talk about your LinkedIn and how important that is actually, you know, in developing your digital resume. So for me, I like to make comments to people that I know who have, you know, making a point on the channel, on the chat. So for example, like Connor posted this morning, I've actually reposted in our own internal group, acknowledging Connor and the great work that he does, and of course Retrospect Labs, but also, you know, what it does to actually the community. So I try to structure my responses so that it acknowledges those people, but it also, you know, feeds into, you know, current conversations and topics. The other thing is that when you look at it, for example, and Michelle, here we are, one of the things that is really good is that when you follow certain people, that you actually connect with them, see what they're doing, use it for a news item so that you can kind of keep up to date with what are the changing things going on in and around us. Check them out, find out who their followers are, who is liking them, are they people of interest that you should be tagging as well. So this is an event that we did yesterday. And sorry, Michelle, are we all still good?
Yeah, keep going. You hear
No,
that
it's
beep
okay.
when other people join the call, and people do join the call throughout. So just ignore it and keep going.
Yep, that's okay. I've got a few funky screen things coming up. So yeah, so if you looked at my LinkedIn page, for example, so this is who I am. If you looked at my profile and sort of the comments, this is my recent posts that I've made. So obviously that's cyber. This is a bunch of high school kids and primary school kids. They're the people within that sort of event that we're involved in. In the photograph, I've actually, you know, jumped in and grabbed some very key people who were at the event. And then something that's a bit of fun. And then you've got other things that I've been doing. So if you have a look at my LinkedIn profile, for example, the things that I've posted or that I've made comment on, you're going to look at what kind of person am I? What are my interests? What is it that I am paying attention to? What is it that I'm getting myself involved in? A lot of the stuff that I do is about, you know, promoting students. And so when you look through all of that, you go, hey, if I wanted to employ somebody to work with students or graduates and the like, I'd be a good candidate. If you looked at my profile and, you know, started to think, you know, would I employ her as a front end developer? You'd be looking at it and go, no, you've got no chance, because you really don't have those sorts of things listed on in your LinkedIn. So it's really important. And it's important to, sometimes for me, I tell my students is that if you want to highlight what areas that interest you, then find stories from Reddit or The Conversation or ABC or you know, whatever that you're reading, and then put it up there, make a comment, and then how is this contributing to the greater community, and why is it important for somebody to read it? And then you become a bit of the expert in it. One of the other things that we have is, I'm looking for him and he's gone. Okay, so one of the things that he's gone anyway. Get yourself involved, volunteer. So volunteering in some of the events and organisations that in and around you. Volunteering for like at the Girls Programming Network, She Codes, coming and working with WITWA in WA, for example, and other women in tech organisations in other locations, ASSN, which is nationwide as well. Join them. Become part of the community. Find people that resonate with you. Find people that you know that you can learn from, and find people who can uplift you. Because at the end of the day, this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for. Some mentors around you that can help you to sort of like, you know, travel the pathway that you deserve and travel along the pathway that you really do want. Girls Programming Network is teaching high school girls coding. It is around Australia. I'm not quite sure if it's in New Zealand yet, but I know that is in the pipeline. I know that She Codes, so Michelle, that's now national, and that's in Brisbane, Sydney, Perth. I'm not quite sure the other locations as yet. Michelle, do you know of any others? Okay. AWSN, which is another good organisation. So have a look at those. You've also got
finding my mute button.
Sorry, you're right.
Finding my mute button. They have she codes Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, and they are coming to Melbourne soon.
Fantastic. So, you know, there's something around you. And if they're not in your location and you like what they're doing, start it up. No one is, you know, going to stop you from having taken the initiative. The other ones that you've got like DD Perth is there. You've got Sec Talks, you've got Beer Ops, you've got B-Sides and the variations of those around as well. AISA Association, the Australian Computerist Association. Like these are there for you, and they've got student discounts. You are going to meet some really wonderful industry people. You're going to meet some very not so interesting industry people as well. And I think that's the opportunity for you to stop and say, what is it about them that, you know, doesn't resonate with me? And would I want to work in that kind of environment? And so therefore, you know, they're the things that you have to pay attention to when you are applying for your internships and grad programs and other sort of jobs. The other one is with GitHub, for example, quite often when you go for interviews, they'll ask you what kind of projects have you been involved with, what sort of things are you doing outside of your studies, how are you sort of, you know, volunteering, helping with others, mentoring, tutoring, but projects. And so they'll ask you, have you got a GitHub account? And show me what you are doing on your GitHub account. Some of your projects may not be finished. Some of your projects maybe didn't work, but they're good stories, and that's what they want to hear. They want to hear, it's like, well, why haven't you finished it? And then you can explain, well, I got busy with sidetracked with something else, and because that's interesting. If it doesn't work, if it's not working, then what made it stop? And so what did you learn out of it? They want to know, how do you think? How do you actually deal with situations? And how do you take initiative and things like that? And that's part of your GitHub account. The other one that I wanted to share with you is, so we've got the Girls Programming Network, obviously your Microsoft credentials, which is really important that you, because there's a lot of, especially Azure Labs in our environment, but they're going to ask you, what other kind of certificates have you got? You know, what sort of things have you been doing to upskill yourself? Again, and set yourself aside from the other person going for that job interview. So, you know, what have you got? So if you can say, like, I've started doing this certificate, I'm only halfway through it, that's valuable information for them, because there's two prongs attacked. One is that the most certified that you are, they're going to say, wow, this is a real learned person. We can put them anywhere, and we know that they'll be able to tackle new training or new positions. The other one is that, yeah, you've got all those certificates, great, but we want you to learn our way. So then they'll put you through another whole raft of other credentials, which is, you know, sometimes that's just the way it is. But I think it's better to err on the side of being overqualified and stand up apart from everyone else than have only a minimum amount. The other one is that we have PCAN, Cyber Taipan is just finishing up this year. Grok Learning have got their cyber challenges, and Grok Learning also have their summer school that they're running in Melbourne and Sydney as well. And they're always looking for volunteers. PCAN is now in Melbourne, Hobart, Adelaide, Perth, Wollongong, Brisbane. Next year it should also be further up the coast of Queensland, probably in Parramatta and out towards Darwin. And again, it works on volunteers. It works on students through GitHub, creating challenges, developing their technical capabilities, putting it up there for high school students to have some fun and to learn about cybersecurity, and then coming in and helping to mentor and helping to teach concepts and that sort of stuff as well. We had about 500 students last year compete, and next year we hope to get bigger again. But it's about you. It's your job. It's about you setting yourself up so that you are different, that you have more things to offer than the person next to you, because it is quite competitive out there. So I would strongly suggest that, yeah, you look at yourself, look at what you've got. What does your resume actually say? And is it interesting? you know, you've got your uni degree or your qualifications from a university, TAFE, whatever, but what else have you done? You know, so how are you interesting as a person? What other skills, what other capabilities have you got? Will you fit in my team? And they need to be able to look you up on the internet. They need to look you up on LinkedIn, and obviously have a chat with other people that have worked or, you know, volunteered alongside you to see how you worked. And to me, it's a bit of a no-brainer in having those sorts of things set up for yourself. But I would strongly encourage about building up your capabilities and, you know, showing everyone that you are the best person for the job there, as a young graduate. So that is how that's how we do things here. Any questions that anyone wants to ask? Is there anything else that I need to add? Feel free to hit me up in the chat.
They are all quite chatty in the chat, but always very, very shy in person.
Yeah. I think, look, you know, doing blogs, doing what's the other one, like a webinars, going to your old school and going to say, hey, look, you know, I'd love to come and, you know, volunteer at your local school, because that's sometimes nice. Looking out for people who need coding experience. I'm lucky in that I actually employ our university students to teach holiday workshops. And I just say to them, you know, what is it that you're interested in? So one of the students is interested in animation, so he teaches Godot, and we tried Unreal Engine, but it was a bit too big. I have another one that is teaches Minecraft and the cyber challenges component out of that as well. And we had like 50 kids come on campus just to do that workshop. We also use microbits, and we use Arduinos. We had a bit of a go at Raspberry Pis. Then we do how to do capture the flags, how to do digital forensics, cryptography, and the like in cybersecurity. We've been running them in, you know, the January, April, July, September school holidays. I usually have about 5 or 6 students who actually develop the workshops, who then teach the workshops. They grab some mates to help them out and volunteer to answer some of the tougher questions, and also, you know, fix up some of the problems. But, you know, we've developed our community on campus with our students. And now we have like 3 sort of organizations, associations. They run their clubs. They ask me, can I link them up with industry? I'm going, well, what do you want? Who do you want? And then, you know, we're making these connections. So my hashtag is champions creating champions. And my whole thing that I do is that I am looking for starring university students who have initiative. It's not about the smartest or the whatever, it's about initiative. And then how do they want to develop their talents? What is it that they want to help others with? And then how do we find people from industry or from universities or education to make all of that happen, so that we have this beautiful sort of like follow through or pipeline, where we've got high school students working with university students who are working with industry. So yeah, TAFE as well. Fantastic for TAFE. PCAN, we do it at Box Hill TAFE. We did it at Queensland TAFE. You know, so, and we have some of the TAFE students come and volunteer for some of the workshops that I do. We have TAFE students working at doing girls programming network, so they come along and enhance their coding skills as well. It is open to anyone who has a love and a passion for these particular areas, and it's my job to, you know, give everyone a leg up or a lift. So that's my story.
Yeah, I think that one of the things I love about you is how you are always bringing me, you know, wonderful, exciting students and introducing them to me. And it's not just here is a great student, they're top of my class or whatever. In fact, it's never here is a great student, they're top of my class. You're always telling me they're involved in this, they're involved in that, they've been helping me run this program, they've been, mentoring these other events for schools. And yeah, that's what makes them interesting, because yes, everyone is getting a degree. And
Yeah.
some of you are going to be top of your class and some of you are not. But in fact, people very rarely ask that. And unless you graduated top of your class, there is like no one wants to know you were sixth, you were 10th, you were like, none of that is really relevant in the real world. It's more like, what can you do? And the way you encourage your students to do more, to get involved in more, is what sets them apart, I think, from everyone else.
Yeah, and public speaking is not easy. And by teaching high school students, and that's what some of them are only just a first year out of high school, and to go back and teach high school students, they're a bit nervous. And I just went, yeah, but they're high school students. They are, not a lot of you have the knowledge. They don't have the knowledge that you have, but I just help them. If they start to stumble or if they sort of like feeling confident, I just, help them to actually work through those particular structures. Now I just let them teach and I just sit here in my office and I can hear them, and they are rolling and doing such and such a good job, and they're loving it. They're like, what can I do next? And that's when I say, well, what is it that you want to do? What makes you happy? What are you passionate about? Because then you will always be able to do a good job, because it becomes easy to you. And then once they've done a few of those, and it's like, okay, let's step it up. Let's try and get something a little bit harder, and let's try and, test your capabilities. A lot of these people are going to be CEOs one of these days, because I think they have the personality in that they can they're flexible, they can listen to others, and they can and think. I think about the impact that it has on other people around them. So yeah.
Very
Oh,
cool.
Winnie at a Lambert, you're in the room. I need to hassle you. You are one of the stars. You know what it's like. So Winnie stepped up. I should look at all these names. I probably could pick out a few actually.
Well, that's cool. I don't suppose any of you all know we are not on Meet.
I'll keep talking. So Winnie organised, he is the vice president of our student association here at the university. And he organised a industry speaking event. He reached out to some people that he knew from the work that he does as a volunteer with the Australian, what is it? The IISA, which is the Security Association. And he then also said to Michelle, can we find some more people as well? The best thing that we had was we asked our alumni to come back in. So they have been, through the whole process with me. They've been out doing workshops, they've delivered things, and now they have these incredible jobs in various roles. And so they came back. Winnie organised it all with them, because I know them, but I don't need to know them at another level because I'm not working in the industry as such. But Winnie and the other students that I work with, they contact the industry people because then they become the connection. That's their network. It's them developing themselves, and making all the introductions. So I think it works well. For me, I've seen a lot of graduate success out of it. And I know it's not just the things that I do, there's a whole lot of other things that come into it as well, because they've got to be able to want to do it. But it's magnificent to see students who weren't confident all of a sudden have got it. And it's a lovely transition.
Awesome. Okay, well, I think I'm going to have to thank you, because I have Georgina ready to do her bit as well, although I could definitely speak to you all day. So it has been wonderful. everyone search LinkedIn and see if you can connect to Michelle on LinkedIn. Because yes, you do want to at least follow her for all the activities she is advertising on there, particularly to capture the flags, but really anything she is involved in is going to be gold. So thank you for joining us today, Michelle, and I will see you very shortly at the next thing, I expect. Thank you. And now we are going to welcome Georgina. Let me put up that thing.
Such a tough act to follow, honestly. Oh gosh. Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and it's so lovely to meet you all. I guess I can start with an intro and
Oh wait, Deeply has done some slides to prompt you with each of the questions. So I'm just flicking between my things trying to find where's the thing that will take me to the next slide. So introduce yourself and your role.
Yeah, no worries. So hi everyone, my name is Georgina. I am a customer success account manager. So what that means is that I support our customers in the education industry with their support contracts. So supporting them with tickets, communicating to engineers, product groups, all of that kind of stuff. I also work on the business side of things, trying to look at all our customers' projects and try and like build a plan around those projects to make them as successful as possible. So that's pretty much my role. Next slide, Dippy. Great. What was my career journey like? My career journey was quite bumpy to say the least. So, I actually started in Microsoft in 2019, so December 2019, and I started as a intern. So, I studied a Bachelor of Computer Science at the University of Sydney. So, put your hands up if you're from USyd. No one? All good. But yeah, so I studied a Bachelor of Computer Science, so I did struggle. Neither could I afford that university either. It was a struggle to pay for it, honestly. But that's all good. So yeah, I studied that degree, and during my like degree, I was one of three girls in my class majority of time. There was honestly, it was very much of a boys' club, and I always thought that I would never like work in a big tech company. So, I kind of threw that. Oh, you're sharing the wrong screen, Michelle.
Oh, sorry.
No,
That is
all
not
good.
what we want. We want that one.
Thank you. Yeah, so I always thought that it would be such a struggle to get into industry. I was never top of my class. In fact, I failed a few subjects, and it was always a very stressful time during my degree. And I was actually very lucky because one day I was coming out of class, and one of the IT societies was running a networking event for Microsoft. And I actually approached one of the recruiters, and I just spoke to her very casually. You know, I think recruiters really appreciate just a casual conversation rather than being kind of hassled. So just had a really casual conversation, telling her about myself, about my degree, where I'm from, just talking to a friend kind of thing. So after we had the chat, she was like, "Hey, just an FYI, there is Microsoft internships opening up mid-year, and if you would like to apply, just reach out to me." We added each other on LinkedIn, and yeah, I actually forgot about the internship, to be honest, the intern application. So it was maybe a couple of days before I reached out, and then I applied for the intern program. Um, and then I actually got rejected. So I applied and I got rejected. I did the whole process of, applying, did the interviews, did the final rounds, and then I got rejected, and it was super disheartening, especially coming from, that background of being only like one of the three females in my class, and n- failing subjects, and thinking I wasn't going to be good enough. And that kind of put a bit more of a damper on that self-esteem. But then I was really lucky that one of the people actually dropped out. So I was I was the second choice, like I was selected as the second choice. And I was very, very lucky in that perspective. They offered me that position and I was like, I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can. So got that in 2019 as a customer success manager. So I was basically supporting customers through their journey with their projects, trying to make sure that they adopt the technologies within the business and learn how to use it, doing all those skilling stuff. So it wasn't very much of a technical role. It was a very much of a business people role. So trying to kind of talk to the business, trying to make it easy for our customers to adopt the technology and stuff within the business. So that was what my role was as an intern, and I actually stuck in that role all through my internship. So the internship was a year, and then I became an Aspire, so a graduate. And this was all happening during COVID as well. So that was another hurdle during my career. So not being able to go into the office and meet people and network within Microsoft. It was always like virtual and meeting customers virtually and stuff. So that was very unusual for everyone. So customers, um, even in just people within Microsoft, I think everyone kind of didn't know how to kind of handle a pandemic. So we were all in that boat. So kicking off a career in that perspective was a big challenge. And then after that, I moved into a customer success role, customer success account manager role, which is my current role. So yeah, lots of hurdles and lots of jumps, I think. But I'm still surviving, and I think that it's been a great test of resilience. Okay, next question. What do you enjoy most about this role? Um, I think with my role right now, I'm actually really enjoying meeting customers, working with the education industry. Being an ex-student, I think that I can totally relate in terms of the end users perspective from the customer, and also being able to work with so many people within Microsoft. So I feel like everyone says this, but I feel like my role is very much the centerpiece within Microsoft. I'm connected to the business side of things, so account executives, account technology strategists, sellers, all of those people, and I'm also connected to the engineers, the product groups, the project managers, like everyone within Microsoft. So it's a great role to kind of start a career, I think. Is there another question? Um, what's the most important skill you have picked up during your career? I think resilience, honestly. Resilience is such an important skill because don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to be starting your career in a pandemic. You don't know if you're going to face economic crises where your industry might get significantly impact. You don't know if like, you never know what's going to happen with your role. So, or with customers as well, how they're going to react, if they're going to get impacted as well. So I think that resilience has been such a important skill to learn, and also networking as well. Especially being a student, you should totally take up all networking opportunities, and that includes as well your peers. I remember my first day at university, one of my lecturers was like to me, just remember, make as many friends as possible at uni, because you never know, those people can be your way into the industry. And I have lots of friends from university and outside of university where we all happen to be in the tech industry, and one day, if I want to go into another space, or if they want to come into our space, they have that network. So I feel like always building a network is very important, especially being early in career as well. Any other questions, Deepthi? Great.
Just the Q&A. So if anyone is brave enough to come off and speak up, does anyone want to ask questions to Georgina about coming in? Well, I don't know, the interviews, were the interviews hard when you came in? What was that like?
Yeah, so the interviews were actually very interesting at the time. So we had phone interviews, so I had to do a phone interview, and then we had to do the assessment center. So it was kind of like speed dating in a way, just kind of going through different hiring managers and kind of trying to answer and do different activities. So we had a group stage, we had one-on-one stages as well. But I've actually interviewed interns as well. So I actually interviewed Deepthi, well, not Deepthi directly, but Deepthi's cohort last year. So I do understand how it's like on the other side as an interviewer. So I think my only point of advice would be, if you're interviewing, and this doesn't have to be just for Microsoft, it's for interviewing in general, is that try and make the interview feel like a conversation. I think that the interviewer really appreciates that. Don't And I know, like, it's so much easier than said than done, than, not being nervous, because everyone's going to be nervous, and it's such a natural feeling to feel, because interviews are unnatural. You're being put in a very intense environment. So it's okay to ask the interviewer, hey, can I just take a minute? And that minute, just breathe, and just try and think of a happy place to be in. Try and relax, and then start. Because then once you feel relaxed in that moment, in that momentum, it honestly will help you so much.
That's cool. Well, does anyone else have any other questions? Well, I think we are probably at time anyway.
Perfect.
So that was wonderful. Thank you so much for helping us with that this week, Georgina.
No worries.
Oops. Just double checking to make sure there's nothing else in the chat for you. Yeah, no, I think we are good. So thank you everyone for joining. Does anyone want to come off camera and just just have a little picture with me because I realised we didn't take one earlier. Michelle, perhaps you'll definitely come off. Oh, look, Saudi's there from New Zealand. Hey, everyone that's still here, please do come off camera so I can just take a little screenshot picture to show all of us here in the call. Don't be shy. Turn them on. See how shy they are. Either shy or not still here. Come, turn on your cameras. Turn them on. There we go. There's Saudi. He's one of our MVPs from New Zealand. And so when he's often running events for students over there in Wellington, right? Cool. See? Are you coming off, turning your camera on then? Ronnie, excellent. Thank you.
Come on, Winnie, where are you?
See, can you? Winnie, Johan, Tashi? Oh, there you go. There you go. There we go. Johan, yes or no? Okay, final call. Smile, look beautiful. Look like you are smart, intelligent, tech professionals ready to take on the world.
You're mute, Michelle Alice.
Oh, wait. One more go because I was looking like a rabbit.
Looking up, everyone, chin up into the cameras.
Oh, perfect. We look beautiful. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Watch the Facebook, LinkedIn newsletters for what's coming up. Lots of end of year events. So check out meetup.com, follow on LinkedIn, and I'll try and post as many events as I can think of. And yeah, cool. Follow each other, and I will see you all next month, maybe. Yes, in December, if not before. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Say bye-bye.